Hey guys.
Howdy.
Welcome to the Vital Revival Podcast. We're here to record another amazing episode for y'all.
Yep, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
100%.
Hell yeah.
Today we're talking about medicalization, which we have alluded to in past. And for the past, well, it feels like we've been alluding to this for the last year.
We've been talking about medicalization for a long time now.
Yeah, we've been planning this podcast for how long?
For a minute. A few months anyway.
Would you say 6 months?
Perhaps 10 months, 11 months.
Would you say a year?
A year maybe. Yeah, maybe. Just about.
Yeah, it's been forever.
Yeah.
But so this is going to be technically like episode 1?
Yeah.
Of
episode 1 redo.
Yeah. The last one we're not totally happy with.
No.
So we're back at it. We're going to do a better version because we're here for you. We have to provide quality content. And that last one, I'm going to take full credit for that. That was a stink bomb in an elevator.
It was bad, but...
It was real bad.
It was both of us. So we promise this time we're much more organized. And
yes.
We're here and ready to rock. And
yeah.
Which I'm Vanessa. For those who don't know, I'm a professional writer and just general health advocate.
And I am Rob Jensen. I am a physical therapist. I have a concierge, cash pay, virtual, and in-home PT practice here in St. Petersburg.
Cool.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah. And so we're here kind of like just spreading our knowledge and our interest and passion of health, wellness, and, just kind of debunking Western medicine myths. And really, I don't know. We've come together to share our interest in that in the hopes that we can empower you guys to make better informed decisions for your own health.
Yeah. And I think kind of adding on to that, the idea is that there's a lot of information out there. And not all of it is good. And so we're trying to kind of read the research so you don't have to, and do the deep dives, again, so that you don't have to. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of quacks out there, a lot of bad ideas, a lot of people out there that have found ways to separate people from their hard-earned cash with, weird devices and weird supplements and this and that. Weird diseases. Fake diseases.
As you'll soon see. Yeah. Fake diseases.
Lizards, some people buy lizards. That's also a way to separate people from their hard-earned cash.
What? Oh, yeah, like...
just another weird...
Just okay.
another
like those conventions, all the reptile convention, people buy, lizards and stuff. Well, anything, I guess.
Not
snakes. Whatever, lizard. Get a lizard. That's like less of a degree of separation between a person and its money than a person that buys a snake. That's a wide separation.
Wait, what is?
Like snakes.
Here, funny you should mention snakes so quickly. I have a question for you on this here card.
Oh yeah, about snakes?
Vanessa, isn't a snake just a pissed off neck with a face?
Yes. Sure is.
Next question.
Yeah. Oh, snakes are nasty.
Yeah, they're...
Sorry for anybody that has a snake.
Also, just because a person likes snakes doesn't mean they're a bad person.
No, of course not.
Right? Anybody out there, if you have friends that have snakes, tell them we say what's up. And they're they're not necessarily bad people. Yeah. Unless they are. If they are bad people, well, don't be friends with them for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we talk about medicalization?
We should. Yeah,
Okay.
Let's get into it. Let's tell them all the things that we know about medicalization, because as we said, we've been talking about this concept for
a long time. Yep.
Yeah, so we're ready to bring you the knowledge that we have.
Yes.
And hopefully the most accurate, straightforward, and truthful, entertaining, easy to follow kind of a way.
Yeah.
Because it's a very complex topic that we can't actually... It would be good to say we can't actually do this topic justice really all in one episode. There's so many layers and levels of this. Yep. So today we're just kind of trying to cover what it is. In very simple terms, what it is.
Yeah, we'll go over the definitions and then we can kind of push off from there into later episodes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the definition of medicalization is essentially it is taking human conditions and gathering them under the umbrella of appropriate for medical care. Mm-hmm. So there's good examples of medicalization where it's appropriate. Again, I think that epilepsy is a really good one, right? So back in the day, they thought if you had epilepsy, that you were some sort of prophet or that you were touched by God. Right now we know that it's misfiring of the brain, the neurons in the brain.
You still could be a prophet.
You might be.
And you may have been touched by God. We're not discrediting.
Some people say we've all been touched by God.
Well, look at that. But just to say, also.
Yeah, which is to say they're right.
Yeah.
So that's an example of a human condition that is appropriate for medical care, because there are things you can do within the medical system as far as medications or surgeries to help take care of that and still let you live a good life, despite having that condition.
Yeah.
So that's good. But really the problem that we see nowadays as far as medicalization is concerned is over-medicalization.
Yeah.
And over-medicalization is gathering human conditions under the umbrella of appropriate for medical treatment that are not appropriate for medical treatment, or not appropriate for just being treated medically. Mm-hmm. So in that case, those are things that it's kind of tricky to talk about it because some of these things they are classified as medical conditions.
Yeah. Depression, for example.
Yep. Obesity, anxiety.
ADHD.
Yep.
All these things are classified as medical conditions, and they are.
Yeah. And the problem that we start seeing, though, is that when you classify these as to be treated primarily by medical interventions, right?
Meaning prescription pills.
Yep, pills or surgeries or whatever. Yeah. You miss the target.
Yeah.
You're treating symptoms instead of root causes, first principle causes. So.
And you're overlooking it's being overlooked what the root cause of the problem is. It's kind of like putting a Band-Aid on something. Exactly. Yeah. It's you're not actually addressing what the core problem is. You're just prescribing something that's going to mitigate the symptoms of it in the short term, or in a way that's for the rest of your life. I think most people that take medicine for antidepression, they're on antidepressants for the rest of their life. Yeah. People that take medications for anxiety, they're on anxiety medications for the rest of their life. Mm-hmm. So that. Yeah,
and again, that doesn't really treat the problem. The problem is, superficially, the problem is that they're anxious, right? And again, so you're going to have people that say, well, they're anxious, give them a pill, the anxiety goes away, great.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, but as soon as they stop taking that, the underlying problem, the real core root problem is not being managed. So it's still there. Again, if we're going back to putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole, that wound isn't going to heal up until you take that bullet out, until you fix that underlying trauma. Yeah. If you will.
The underlying, catalyst of the issue, the trauma, right. Yeah. And the other thing, I think, just the key point here with over-medicalization context is the fact that in a lot of these cases, not only are they not treating the core problem, the trauma, but also they're jumping right to these prescription solutions and ignoring entirely the fact that there's always a natural remedy in a lot of cases to even mitigate the symptoms. Maybe not necessarily to treat the problem either. That could be a separate conversation. But even just to mitigate the symptoms, that there's almost always, in many cases, like a natural solution for that. ADHD, for example, there are natural solutions for that. Exercise, diet, supplements. Yeah. Depression.
But what's crazy is that so many of these things that we're talking about, these things that are over-medicalized, have that same set of cures, actual cures, not ways of managing symptoms. Like, you can exercise and it'll acutely make your depression, anxiety, whatever, decrease. But if you integrate that into your lifestyle, then that's the actual cure for a lot of these things. It's not the only cure, but it's a major component of what that cure looks like. It's lifestyle modification, building better habits, and that's how you actually fix somebody. Yeah,
you reduce the illness, you prevent the illness potentially, and you mitigate the symptoms as well. It's a trifold.
Yeah, trifold.
Exactly. Trifold?
Trifecta?
Trifecta. Trifold.
Trifold is one of those things.
It's like a brochure, right?
They have chocolate. They got pretzels. Oh, that's great.
Fun story. In high school or in college maybe, I was taking marketing courses. Okay. And I remember I would always be making these little trifold brochures. And I had so much fun designing them. Just with pen and paper, printer paper. And it was great. What? I made some really beautiful,
I believe you.
trifold marketing brochures.
In high school?
Yeah, or college, one of them.
Oh, what were you marketing?
I was just taking marketing courses.
Okay.
I have a degree in marketing. Fun fact.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Trifold.
Yes, it's the trifold
But-
of fixing somebody's lifestyle and actually like taking care of the problem.
That's right. Can I share some studies or?
Can I say one more thing
Sure,
about that real
yeah,
quick?
yeah.
It's that when you go into the physician or whomever it is and you end up getting the pill to treat your symptoms versus actually taking care of those underlying root, first principle causes, what you're doing is you're kind of conceding control over your problem to somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. So you lose that internal locus of control. And if you look at your health as something that's to be managed and improved and taken care of by somebody else, you're going to have a major problem.
Yeah. Right. If you relinquish all your control to the decision and opinion of another
Yeah.
in general. Yeah, right. You've succumbed to whatever, and then you have no agency. You're not empowered to make your own decisions or do your own research or.
Yeah, it's all about internal locus of control. Like if you really want somebody to get better, if we're just talking about health, these things right now, you have to train people. You have to show people that internal locus of control is where it's got to start. Like you have to take responsibility for this. That's what I tell my clients. It's like your back is injured. Say they herniate a disc. I tell them, I'm like, this is your back and this is your problem and you have to take care of this. I can point you in the right direction. I can show you the right stuff to do. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go home and you're still going to be here with your back. And for this to get better, you have to take control over that. And you have to do the things that that you have to do to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, really,
That's it.
This pretty much sums up our entire philosophy for doing these episodes and for our podcast, I would say, and that's that. You have to be your own health advocate.
Yeah.
You have to, no one's going to know your body better than you do. You can tell anybody your symptoms, and people in their best effort can make their best guesses as to what your problem is and what the solution is. But at the end of the day, you know your body, what you need and what you don't need. Listen to that. Honor that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really just kind of the whole...
Yeah.
Everything we're trying to say, basically.
Yeah. And then it comes down, beyond that, it comes down to having good experts and, people on your team that you trust to help...
support that.
That.
Right, and to align with what you feel. You never want to be in a situation where a doctor is adamantly telling you that you're wrong because, you trust your gut. You could be right. There could be so many times things are missed.
But also in that doctor's defense... Some people are just wrong.
Some people are just wrong.
Yeah, I've been on plenty.
That's true.
Because I used to do when I was back in Green Bay, I would consult with the physicians there, where I'd be working down in the clinic, and then one day a week we would go up and we would be their kind of triage team, the PT triage team, and people would come in and they're like, oh yeah, I hurt my back and I think that, it's this, and they start telling you the things that they're doing to take care of their back or their knee or their foot or whatever, and they got some bad ideas.
It's because WebMD and stuff. People go on the internet, myself included.
Dr. Google has got some cockamamie ideas.
Don't do that, guys. Don't go on the internet and look up some Google symptoms.
Go
It's
to
always
us.
bad. Yeah. Well,
come.
disclaimer: we are not. Well, you're in the medical field. You're a PT.
I'm technically a medical expert,
but neither of us are doctors, though.
And we're not your doctor.
Yeah, that's right. So
this is for entertainment
see
purposes
a physician.
only.
Yeah, entertainment only. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Here's a question for you on that topic.
Okay.
Tell me if I've asked you this question before. If you were being shipped internationally in a wooden box, would you rather have 12 tarantula spiders in the box with you or one spider monkey?
What a horrible question. I'm not clear on what a spider monkey is, I'm going to be honest. I assume it's a type of monkey. Obviously.
Good guess.
But I don't know what the spider part is.
12 big honking spiders.
I'm going to go with the spider monkey. Yeah, I'm going to just rest in that ignorance. Yeah.
I think I would do the tarantulas hands down. I would have the willies for the rest of my life. I have the willies just thinking about that.
What's a spider monkey?
A spider monkey is like a little spidery monkey. But
Does
also,
he have all the legs like a spider?
like 8 legs, like 4 arms and 4 legs.
Yeah, and a monkey head or something
If that is what a spider monkey is,
that'd be horrifying.
I would say no to that. I would say no to that 100 times.
Maybe they could be cute. They could be really nice. If it was a baby spider monkey or something, it probably just wants love.
But okay, so monkeys are not nice. They can be cute. And I guess they can be nice. But also, imagine that you're a wild animal that has wild animal strength, and you got these pointy little monkey fingers that just, like, go places. And now you're locked in a box with a big, sweaty human flying through the air, getting jostled around.
Oh my God, it would probably be eating my face.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what monkeys do. They're the people that have owned monkeys in the past, they don't usually end up beautiful.
I feel like I've heard this actually. Yeah.
They get a little maimed
They get
up.
deformed. Yeah, they
Because
do.
the
Don't
monkeys got a way about them.
kind of
Spiders-
sadistic animals.
Yeah, I think that's actually kind of what it is.
This makes me feel. I don't like this question. Ugh.
Sorry.
Do you have another one?
Yeah, you want a better one?
So bad.
Can trees feel pain?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think so.
take it.
Yeah,
I think they feel something. They got to be able to feel something.
that's what sap is, isn't it? It's tears.
Anyway.
Am I wrong?
You might be.
Is sap tears?
Does it
That's
count?
a question.
Does it count as tear? Well, trees do have eyes.
Oh, so see?
Not eyeballs, but they they get the little like a branch snaps off and they get the little eye.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. That hurts my brain.
Yeah.
All right, I got some studies though that I want to share.
Okay.
Can we go back to
Yeah,
that?
let's get back on track.
Just like
Yeah.
a sharp track here. Okay,
Yeah.
a sharp turn.
What do you got?
So regarding, I just wanted to share back on when we were talking about anxiety and depression, in particular, as far as it comes to like natural remedies. There was one study, and obesity, like weight management as well, but one study found that individualized consultations with a registered dietitian significantly improved their obesity management. I can provide a link to that for the episode notes.
Yep.
And then another study found that 58% of children and adolescents who did yoga had natural reductions in anxiety and depression symptoms.
Yeah.
So that just kind of shows, I'm not going to say, make the statement, because this is a very large statement, to say like type in almost any condition into Google and then the word natural remedy, and it'll probably populate with some kind of natural solutions, non-medical solutions.
Yeah.
For it, but honestly, kinda like there's
Some of that
many.
you got to be pretty careful with though.
Yeah.
Because you get people that are trying to cure their pancreatic cancer by eating fruit or like going into like red light therapy.
Yeah, nothing extreme. I'm talking like just
If you have some sort of like mortal disease, it's not a bad idea to see if there are other ways of approaching it.
or even supplement, a medical or
But again, the medical system, modern medicine is really good at managing some of these like really acute, lethal, traumatic injuries. Like a broken bone or like a heart attack or a stroke or any of those things.
Definitely.
Like if you're in a situation where
if you're in a car accident, don't change your diet to fix it.
Yeah, don't see an herbalist.
Obviously.
Don't do homeopathy.
Yeah, nothing crazy here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, folks. I can't believe you have to say that. But they're like modern medicine it's still the best medicine that we've ever had. It's just that the problem is medicalization is this sort of corruption of what would otherwise be a really, really good tool. It is a good tool. It's just that, sorry, one second. It's that people that don't care about the end goal of medicine, which is making people healthier, seem to be they hold more sway over it than they should.
It's for capitalize.
Yeah. They found they've turned it into a game of power and of money, and I think that's why you see so much burnout in the system. I think that's why you see, physicians. Why their suicide rate is so high. I think that's why nurses are burning out at record numbers. That's why physical therapists are stepping away from the system. That's why even like the patients are like they know they're being taken advantage of. Not always, but they know that the system's not designed for them to be healthy.
Yeah. And the system isn't designed for physicians to go outside of a particular box that they're trained in. They can't exercise whatever, we were talking about this yesterday, but like whatever control that they want. They can't do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. Even if they feel or know differently, they have to follow guidelines and certain rules. So because of that limits their ability to even, go beyond the realm of prescriptions in many cases and suggest other more natural, healthier terms of treatment, because they can't. They're not allowed to, or they don't know how, or they're not trained to.
Yeah.
I have a quote here that I'll share quickly. So I actually just finished this book. Big fan of Gabor Mate, The Myth of Normal, and
You know what I like?
what?
Yerba mate.
Yerba mate is good too. Yeah, I think I had that the one time, but yeah, it's tasty. It's
good, yeah.
It's good for cognitive function, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
healthier tea or something.
I think it's like, yeah, caffeine.
Yeah,
And like the
probably.
L-theanine probably.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is not. I just,
You just roar at me.
I did.
Yeah.
I did roar. Okay, well, this is not yerba mate, but Gabor Mate. He says, not actually in the book, but in
Is
a reel on Instagram.
Gabor Mate is Yerba Mate's son or grandson?
I don't think there's any relation here.
He's not related to Yerba Mate?
I don't know. We'll have to check.
Great grandfather.
Let me read this quote.
Yes,
You're so terrible. All right, so he says, doctors don't think that they know everything, but the arrogance comes into thinking that what they don't know is not worth knowing. So there's also this disconnect here between maybe the medical community and all the other sort of mountains of research and science that literally connect childhood adversity, trauma, different aspects of lifestyle and stuff to these medical or mental illnesses, diseases, and stuff like that. A lot of times that's just completely ignored or not even acknowledged because it's not within their wheelhouse to fix it.
Yes.
So instead, they do the only thing that they know that they can do and they know how to do, which is prescribe pills.
I think what makes that even more profoundly dangerous or impactful is that so many physicians, they're just in silos, right? So you don't have a generalist. You can have a family practitioner, but then you're going to have a GI doc. You're going to have your gynecologist. You're going to have your just like everybody has their own little specialty,
Right. Yeah.
And then so you're consulting with these people they're the experts. Like they're the person to go and see, and they don't have. They might have that same sort of belief where they say, if I don't know it, it's not worth knowing. In my experience working with physicians, that's a rare thing. A lot of they're always happy to refer their patients onto somebody else, if only just to get them off their plate sometimes. But they communicate well. It's such a big interconnected system where those communications they'll fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
And they try to document. That's why the documentation burden is so high, is because every message it has to go through 7 other people to get to where it's supposed to go. And, again, the messages get lost, and it's a really hard time for them to communicate within the system, even when they're saying something like, yeah, go see somebody else. I'm not your guy.
Yeah, right.
But it's
Also,
it's tough on the inside for physicians. I feel really bad for physicians because I know, and again, we talked about it last night. I know that almost all of them got into the game because they wanted to help people. And inside of the system, once they actually get in there and they're working in clinic or in hospital, the whole system is sort of like set against them. It's like they're like, oh, I want to run. I'm a runner. I'm just going to go for a run. And once you're a doctor running, you're running in a windstorm, and you're like you're trying to go as fast as you thought you were going to be able to go. But it's just like this whole system is pushing you back, and it's like, no, document, do this, do that.
It's like the rigorous confines of their guidelines and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty
holds
brutal.
them back from being able to. So within so back to medical, how this relates and why it matters to medicalization is because it kind of contributes to the problem a little bit. So when you go to a doctor and if you think you've got something going on that maybe you need a pill for, maybe you don't, this just goes to show that it's for these reasons that they're more likely to prescribe you a pill versus diving deeper into your lifestyle, your childhood, trauma that you have, any other, like your relationships, what your job situation is, any other factors that could contribute largely to whatever it is you're experiencing. They're not going to go into that because of this windstorm of adversity that is the medical system that they didn't inadvertently know that they were going to encounter when they went to medical school. So definitely much empathy for anybody that works in those environments.
I think it's also the medicalization comes from, like, there's different models of human health and what factors a person should take into consideration when trying to think of what a person's health should be. So the kind of more modern approach that I like is the biopsychosocial model, which is that your health is not just biology; it's your biology and your psychology and how you're socially supported.
Absolutely.
Like if you have friends or family, because we are social creatures. I think there should be. If we're going to expand on the biopsychosocial, there should be a spiritual aspect in there too. Whatever your religion is or whatever your spiritual beliefs are, I think it's getting harder and harder to deny the fact that there is something beyond the material universe that we're all kind of moving through. Maybe it's the simulation. I don't know. Whatever that is. Maybe it's the Matrix.
It's like, what's your relationship just with yourself? Even if you just do meditation or yoga, do you ever just check in with yourself in your own body?
Yeah.
It's that, I think the word is interoception. When you just, are you connected with your authentic, your beliefs?
Do you even know who you are?
Do you know who you are?
Do you?
Exactly. Yeah. But that's a big, spiritual aspect of that could be married into that. So. Yeah.
But the a lot of this medicalization, it grows out of the soil of just straight like a biomechanical understanding of human health, which is that
the body is just the body.
Yeah, and the musculoskeletal system is just a bunch of bones connected with with muscles and ligaments and tendons, and you can do carpentry on it and replace pieces and put a new thing in, and that should make it all get better.
Right.
Which is, again, if you look at the research on that stuff, a knee replacement surgery, you would think, if knee pain is just from the mechanical components of the knee wearing out and getting arthritic, then replacing that should fix the problem. Rarely is that the case.
Right.
You can get some relief in symptoms, but if you look at the research on that, you also find that people that get the surgery versus people that don't get the surgery but go through physical therapy as if they had the surgery end up with the same outcomes. And you can find that it's the same for a lot of the other musculoskeletal, orthopedic surgeries. You get something replaced, or you go through the therapy as if it got replaced, and you tend to get better. Yeah. And that's just it's like chopping down that tree of biomechanical health, because again, we're not that simple. Humans are way more complex than that, and that's also why this medicalized approach to human health misses the mark so widely. Even if it was done in good faith, which I don't think it is.
There's gaps.
There's gaps, and you can't just, we're not just, at a certain level, yes, we are just bags of water and chemicals. Kinda. If you want to boil it down to the most crude way of thinking about it. Wow. Like, we're these living, chemicals and hormones and electricity and meat and whatever. It's just too simple. That's way too simple. And yes, you can change the chemistry, but that doesn't change the person.
Yeah.
And I think that's again what these medicalized approaches miss, is that people are more than their bodies.
Yeah. Well, that's what I feel like Gabor Mate meant with this quote. Kind of is not that they don't know anything, because they know a lot, to be sure, but it's that they don't know. They think that what they don't know isn't worth knowing, and so that portion that's not worth knowing that they think is this, acknowledging that the body is not just the body. We are not the sum of our parts.
Yeah.
We're more than that. It's more complex. There's
so much more.
There's more going on. There's more to it.
We're back.
Hey.
As far as medicalization is concerned, I think a good example of it, especially in the modern times, as far as how insidious it can be, and how sinister. It can be very, very sinister. I honestly think that anybody that's listening to this knows exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? We've heard the term medical industrial complex, and we know that there's a bunch of good old boys and good old girls that have found ways of making money off of. They're kind of like milking the misery of humanity to make cash. Which is we
need to quote that. Milking the misery of humanity to what? Create cash?
Sounds about right, yeah. That sounds like something I would say.
To play that back.
But so a good example of this is in January of 2023. On 60 Minutes, there was an interview where Leslie Stahl, who's the interviewer lady, is interviewing Dr. Fatima Cody Stanford, who is an obesity specialist. And she's also been installed by the Biden administration onto the 2025 Dietary Recommendations Board. Whatever, there's a name for them, but essentially that's what it is. The segment is sponsored by a pharmaceutical company from Denmark.
Okay.
I believe it's Denmark. that manufactures the drug Wegovy or semaglutide. There's one other word for it, Ozempic. So those are medications that are used to control obesity. Dr. Stanford, she has on record that she's consulted with them to the tune of at least $15,000. So she's already in their pocket.
Wow.
And this segment is in their pocket. And what she says during the segment is that that obesity is almost strictly genetic. She says that it has nothing to do with your lifestyle. It has nothing to do with how much you exercise, with what you eat. It's almost all genetics. That's what she says, right? Despite mounds of evidence that say the opposite. Despite this, I mean, you can go to Google Scholar and do a search for obesity management systematic review. If you type that into Google Scholar, you're going to find all sorts of stuff that says this lady is full of it.
It doesn't say that it's genetics or solely genetics.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are genetic components. There's genetic components to everything.
Yeah.
But just because there's genetic components doesn't mean that these are genetic diseases
Right.
that need
or
to be
that's
treated
the
like
only,
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Interesting.
But that's her take. So her idea is that obesity should be treated with medications, heavy pharmaceutical interventions. And these medications she's talking about, Ozempic, Wegovy, semaglutide, they can cost up to $17,000 a year.
For a person?
For one person.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
They work. You'll lose tons of weight. The research also shows that while you're losing that fat weight, you're also losing muscle weight. Right? So it just kind of like strips you down to the bone. I'm being a little hyperbolic there.
No pun intended.
No? I don't know. But so, and this lady who's saying that the primary way to take care of obesity is these crazy medications, who also says that your diet has nothing to do with you being obese, is also on the board of designing the 2025 healthy diet. And this is a great example, and this is also why people are walking away from modern medicine in droves, is because that was on 60 Minutes. Everybody saw that, and when somebody says, "Hey, obesity has nothing to do with your lifestyle; it's all genetics," we all know that that's a lie. Yeah. We all know that's a lie, and we've known that that's a lie up until January 2023, where now we have this expert saying this, saying one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life on national TV.
Yeah.
Under the guise of it being like a fair and not paid for point to be made.
Right. That's pretty wild. I mean, I didn't see the interview, but yeah, that's definitely...
You should look it up.
I will. To go on air and to just so confidently say that that's the only cause for that, and that the prescriptions that she seems to have been paid to promote is the solution for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem right there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean...
And again, to clarify how that's a medicalization, is that it's, if you demedicalize obesity, and I don't want to beat up on obese people here. I'm talking about the process of it. I've had tons of clients that are, they're struggling with it. I've struggled with weight gain myself. It's not easy. I'm not downplaying any of that stuff. But the way to manage it is you don't typically need a medical intervention. And the medical intervention would be surgery or pharmaceuticals. Right? The way to fix that, the way to manage that is, again, you fix your diet, you fix your lifestyle, you fix your activity levels.
Meet with a dietitian. Maybe you have a nutritional deficiency or something, like the study I read. Yeah. That, individualized consultations with a dietitian. The study literally said made a significant difference in obesity management. So there's proven studies out there that show.
And there are probably hundreds of thousands of studies out there that are just like that.
Yeah.
That say this thing that we've all known for our entire lives, for forever, up until January 2023, when this crazy lady said some stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That she was probably paid.
What's her name again? Fatima?
Dr. Fatima Cody Stanford of Boston's Mass General.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll be interested to see what else Dr. Fatima Cody Stanford has to say.
Yeah, keep an eye on her.
Other health conditions, I suppose. Yeah, keep an eye on her.
Yeah. But, and again, I think that part of the reason that this happens, I don't know how big the part is of why this happens, is because telling people that they have control over their health, that there's an internal locus of control that is crucial to being healthy, that changing your lifestyle, changing your diet, changing your activity levels is going to be your best way of managing your health. The problem is that that's free.
Yeah.
That's free. There's no money to be made off of that.
That's right.
For these people that are in control of this system.
There's no incentive to promote free solutions.
Yeah. So, and that's, I don't think that that's necessarily capitalism. I think that's,
Evil?
that's psychopathy. Yeah, it's sinister evil. It is.
Bit.
Like, and I think that that's, again, I'll talk to my clients about this kind of stuff. I'll bring it up with them. And the consensus is growing that this is, it's more than mere greed. It is greed, but it's just like these people are, I don't know, it's not good. They're real jerks.
That's why you need to stand up for yourselves, guys. Get educated, be empowered, be your own health advocate,
Follow the Vital Revival podcast for more.
Link, subscribe, comment.
Yep. Get on our Instagram.
Let us know if your dog can look up. I gotta know.
Let us know if you would rather travel in a box with 12 tarantulas or a spider monkey.
Also, if donuts are breakfast or dessert.
Oh, that's
what do you guys
yeah,
think?
Yeah.
That's a really key question.
And what do you think about Star Wars?
Yeah.
What do you think about that ball metaphor? I think that's the best.
Wow,
that's some
yeah.
That's some good shit.
Tangent there.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Is there more we wanted to say?
No, I think we'll save the rest for the next episode, Medicalization Part 2.
Part 2?
Coming soon. We're going to dive a little bit more into the details of how actually it works. We'll go over some ICD-10 codes.
Yeah.
They're called. They're kind of funny. And how exactly health insurance, reimbursement and all that whole process
how that's
plays
driving
into
the
this.
medicalization. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So we'll fill you in on that on those details too next. So
yeah.
that's it.
Thanks.